Have you ever pulled some leftovers out of the fridge, tossed them into the microwave, and thought you were making a quick, healthy choice? It feels convenient, but the truth is not so simple. Some foods, once reheated, can quietly turn into health hazards, raising your risk of cancer, digestive problems, and even harming your brain. Today, we're going to uncover 5 everyday foods that doctors and nutrition experts strongly advise never to reheat because under certain conditions, they can actually become toxic. And yes, this is backed by real medical science. Stick with me until the end, because you won't just learn which common foods you might be mishandling, you'll also discover the surprising reasons why this happens, along with practical tips to keep yourself safe in the kitchen. When you know the truth, you'll realize that healthy eating isn't only about what you eat, but also how you handle your food. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. And if you find this video helpful, drop a 1 in the comments to show your support. If you think there's room for improvement, leave a 0, and I'll work harder to bring you even better content. Now let's jump right in. Number 1, spinach. The superfood that can secretly turn risky when reheated. Spinach has long been celebrated as a nutritional powerhouse. From green smoothies and garlic stir-fries to layered lasagnas and crisp salads, this leafy green shows up in countless dishes worldwide. Packed with vitamin A, C, and K, along with iron, magnesium, and a rich supply of antioxidants. Spinach helps boost immunity, strengthen bones, and keep your body running at its best. But here's the catch: reheating cooked spinach after it's been stored can actually put your health at risk. The reason lies in spinach's naturally high nitrate levels. In their natural form, nitrates are not only safe but also incredibly beneficial. Studies published in top medical journals show that dietary nitrates can improve blood circulation, lower blood pressure, and even boost athletic performance by improving oxygen delivery to muscles. That's why nitrate-rich foods like spinach are so valuable for heart health. The danger comes from how spinach is handled after cooking. When it's cooked, left sitting in the fridge or at room temperature, and then reheated, especially with high heat in the microwave, those nitrates can undergo chemical changes. This transformation can produce harmful compounds that strip away the benefits and turn this superfood into a hidden health threat. When spinach is reheated, the naturally occurring nitrates inside it don't stay stable. They can break down into nitrites, and under certain conditions like high heat or the acidic environment of your stomach, those nitrites may transform into nitrosamines. These are a class of compounds that scientists have studied for decades, and the evidence is clear. Nitrosamines are strongly linked to cancer. Reports from both the World Health Organization and the National Cancer Institute warn that they raise the risk of digestive cancers, especially in the stomach and colon. But the danger doesn't stop there. Newer studies suggest nitrosamines may also threaten your brain health. Research published in respected journals such as Neurology and Frontiers in Neuroscience points to a troubling link. Long-term low-level exposure to these compounds can fuel chronic inflammation throughout the body. And inflammation is a key driver behind cognitive decline and serious conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. This risk becomes even more pressing as we get older. Our bodies naturally lose some of their ability to repair damaged cells and filter out toxins. Metabolism slows, detox systems weaken, and harmful compounds can build up more easily. Over years, even small amounts of nitrosamines might quietly chip away at brain function, leading to memory problems, slower thinking, or difficulty concentrating. Picture this: you make a big pot of spinach soup on Sunday, planning to eat it all week. By Tuesday, you heat up a bowl in the microwave. It tastes fine, maybe even delicious, and the convenience feels like a win. But what you don't realize is that with each round of cooking, cooling, and reheating, nitrosamines could be forming in that soup. If this becomes a weekly routine over months or years, the potential health risks quietly stack up. The tricky part is that these changes are invisible. There's no off smell, no strange flavor, no texture shift to warn you that something unhealthy is happening. That's what makes the risk so insidious, it hides in plain sight. Now, this doesn't mean you should ban spinach from your kitchen. Far from it, spinach is still one of the most nutrient-packed foods on the planet. The key is knowing how to prepare and store it wisely. Eat it fresh whenever possible, or enjoy it lightly cooked to preserve both flavor and nutrition. Leftovers with spinach. Try eating them cold like a spinach salad, a chilled soup, or blended into a smoothie rather than reheating. If reheating can't be avoided, Do it gently on the stovetop with low heat, not in the microwave, which tends to create uneven hotspots that speed up the chemical conversion of nitrates. And always store spinach dishes quickly in the fridge in sealed containers and aim to finish them within 1 or 2 days. That simple shift in habit can keep the benefits of spinach intact while steering clear of the hidden dangers. Freezing your cooked spinach can actually be a smart move if you want to store it longer. The cold slows down the chemical reactions that would normally lead to nitrosamine formation, keeping your food safer and your nutrients more intact. Remember, knowledge is power. With just a few small but intentional tweaks, you can still enjoy all the incredible benefits of spinach while shielding your body and brain from the hidden risks that come with careless reheating. Handled wisely, spinach remains what it was always meant to be: a loyal nutritional ally that fuels your energy, strengthens your immune system, and supports your long-term vitality instead of quietly working against you. And hey, if you're still watching right now and finding this information valuable, drop a 1 in the comments so I know you're still with me. Your support means the world, and it helps me keep creating videos that can make a real difference in your life. Thank you for giving me your time and attention. Now let's move on. Number 2, potatoes, the comfort food that can quietly turn against you when reheated. Potatoes are loved across the globe for a reason. They're affordable, versatile, and packed with comfort. Whether it's buttery mashed potatoes, herb-roasted wedges, golden-baked spuds with crispy skins, or hearty stews simmering with soft chunks of potato, this humble vegetable has earned its place as a kitchen staple in almost every culture. Nutritionally, potatoes deliver far more than just carbs. When eaten with the skin on, they're a good source of fiber, potassium, vitamin C, and steady energy that keeps you going. They've been a reliable part of the human diet for centuries. But here's the surprising twist: cooking, cooling, storing, and then reheating potatoes can quietly introduce risks to your health if not handled properly. The problem has 2 sides: chemistry and microbiology. When potatoes are freshly cooked, their starches break down into a soft, easily digestible form that gives quick energy. But as they cool, especially if they sit out too long or spend several days in the fridge, those starches rearrange themselves in a process called retrogradation. This transformation creates what's known as resistant starch. Now, resistant starch isn't bad in small amounts. In fact, it acts like a prebiotic, feeding the good bacteria in your gut and helping to balance blood sugar levels, as noted in research published in the Journal of Nutrition. But trouble begins when these cooled potatoes are reheated, especially with high heat methods like the microwave. That's when 2 major risks emerge: bacterial growth and toxin formation. Here's where it gets serious. Potatoes that have been baked or boiled, especially if they're wrapped in foil, can create a low oxygen environment, perfect conditions for Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria responsible for botulism. If cooked potatoes are left out at room temperature for too long before being refrigerated, this slow cooling process practically invites bacteria to thrive. The danger lies in the toxin it produces, botulinum toxin. It has no smell, no taste, and no visible signs, yet it's one of the most powerful neurotoxins known to science. Even tiny amounts can cause serious illness. Symptoms can start with nausea, dizziness, and muscle weakness. But in severe cases, botulism can lead to paralysis and life-threatening complications. For older adults or anyone with a weakened immune system, the risks are even greater because their bodies may not fight off the toxin as effectively. As we grow older, our immune defenses naturally weaken, and our digestive systems aren't as efficient at neutralizing harmful bacteria or toxins. Research published in Frontiers in Neuroscience and Nature Reviews, Microbiology points to a critical link between the gut and the brain. Chronic exposure to bacterial toxins or ongoing inflammation in the gut doesn't just cause stomach troubles, it can ripple through the entire body, fueling systemic inflammation. And systemic inflammation is a known driver behind neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Think about what that means in everyday life. Let's say you bake a tray of potatoes for dinner, wrap the extras in foil, and stick them in the fridge. A few days later, you reheat them in the microwave because it's quick and convenient. On the surface, this routine seems harmless. But if those potatoes sat at room temperature for too long before refrigeration, or if they've been stored for several days, bacteria may already have multiplied. Over years of repeating this habit, those trace toxins can slowly accumulate, quietly eroding both physical strength and cognitive clarity. So how do you stay safe while still enjoying potatoes? The solution comes down to a few smart kitchen habits. Cook only what you'll eat fresh. This eliminates the storage and reheating issue altogether. If you do have leftovers, cool them fast. Aim to refrigerate within 2 hours of cooking and always store them in airtight containers, not wrapped in foil. Keep them cold and eat them quickly. Consume within 2 to 3 days for the best safety margin. When reheating, go for steady, even heat. Using the stovetop or oven is far better than microwaving, which can create uneven hotspots where bacteria survive. Never reheat more than once. Each cycle of reheating raises the risk of contamination. And if the potatoes show any sign of spoilage, odd smells, slimy texture, or discoloration, throw them out immediately. Handled with care, potatoes are still the satisfying, nutrient-packed comfort food we all love. For older adults especially, these small adjustments can help preserve energy, protect brain function, and support long-term health. Sometimes it's the little changes in our daily habits that pay the biggest dividends over time. And if you're still here learning along with me, type A2 in the comments so I know you're sticking with this journey. I appreciate your time and your attention. Now let's move forward. Number 3, eggs, a breakfast staple that can become risky when reheated. Eggs are one of the most universal foods on the planet. They're inexpensive, highly versatile, and loaded with nutrients. In American kitchens especially, eggs are practically a morning tradition. From fluffy scrambled eggs at breakfast to hard-boiled eggs as a quick protein snack, to baked quiches and savory casseroles, eggs show up in countless forms. But while eggs are a nutritional powerhouse when cooked fresh, reheating them can sometimes trigger unwanted chemical changes that turn this wholesome food into a potential health concern. Eggs are often celebrated as the ultimate all-in-one food. They deliver high-quality protein that helps preserve muscle mass, choline that fuels brain function, and healthy fats that support every single cell in your body. It's no wonder eggs are a go-to choice for anyone looking to maintain steady energy and keep their mind sharp. But here's the catch: a common habit, reheating cooked eggs, especially in the microwave, can quietly strip away these benefits and even introduce hidden risks. When you cook an egg for the first time, its proteins go through a process called denaturation. That simply means they unfold and reorganize into a form that your body can easily digest. This is part of what makes cooking so beneficial. But once eggs are cooked, stored, and then reheated, especially under harsh or uneven heat, things change. Those proteins continue to alter, sometimes making them tougher to digest and less nutritionally valuable. There are 2 major concerns when it comes to reheating eggs. 1, the breakdown of sulfur compounds. 2, the oxidation of cholesterol. Let's start with the sulfur. Eggs naturally contain sulfur-based compounds, which give them their distinctive flavor and also provide some nutritional value. However, when eggs are reheated, particularly at high temperatures, these compounds can degrade. The result, a rubbery, unappealing texture and that strong sulfur-like smell that makes eggs far less appetizing. While the texture and odor might be annoying, the bigger issue lies in the yolk. Egg yolks are rich in cholesterol, which is not inherently bad. But when reheated, that cholesterol can oxidize into harmful byproducts called oxysterols. Research published in the Journal of Lipid Research and Atherosclerosis has shown that oxysterols are linked to inflammation, oxidative stress, and the buildup of arterial plaque, all of which raise the risk of cardiovascular disease. And the risks don't stop at your heart. Chronic inflammation is also a known driver of cognitive decline. Studies in Nature Reviews Neurology and the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease highlight how long-term exposure to inflammatory compounds, including dietary sources like oxysterols, can impair memory and increase the likelihood of dementia or Alzheimer's. This danger becomes more significant with age. As we get older, our bodies don't process fats as efficiently, and our ability to repair inflammation-related damage weakens. Blood vessels lose flexibility, and the brain becomes more vulnerable to oxidative stress. That means the harmful effects of reheated eggs may hit harder in older adults than in younger people. Here's a relatable example. On Sunday, you boil a dozen eggs, planning to snack on them throughout the week. By Wednesday, you pop one in the microwave for convenience. It looks fine, it tastes fine, but what you don't see are the subtle chemical changes inside. The proteins may have toughened and the cholesterol may have oxidized into oxysterols. One time isn't a big deal, but if this becomes your weekly routine, those small changes can accumulate over months and years, contributing to chronic inflammation, cardiovascular strain, and even cognitive decline. So how do you keep eggs safe while still enjoying their incredible nutrition? The golden rule is simple: eat them fresh whenever possible. Eggs taste best and deliver the most benefits when they're consumed soon after cooking. If you like to meal prep, consider enjoying them cold instead of reheating. Sliced hard-boiled eggs on a salad, mashed into an egg sandwich, or even eaten as a chilled snack are all great options that skip the risks of reheating. But if you absolutely need to warm them up, stick to low, gentle heat, like slowly reheating on the stovetop. This helps reduce the chemical changes that can damage their nutrients. Avoid multiple reheating cycles. Each round increases nutrient breakdown and the chance of harmful compound formation. Always store cooked eggs promptly in the refrigerator in airtight containers and try to finish them within 3 to 4 days. And remember, if they develop an unusual odorous texture or discoloration, don't take chances, throw them out right away to avoid foodborne illness. Handled with care, eggs remain one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. By making small, mindful choices, eating them cold, reheating gently, or consuming them promptly, you not only protect yourself from hidden risks, but also maximize the benefits they offer. Over time, these small adjustments add up, while you supporting your energy, mental sharpness, and long-term health. Now let's move on. Number 4, chicken acetate. Lean protein that can quietly fuel inflammation. When reheated, chicken is one of the most universal staples in the world. It's prized for its versatility, affordability, and reputation as a lean, nutrient-packed protein. Whether it's grilled to perfection, roasted with fresh herbs, baked until the skin is crisp, or simmered in a savory stew, chicken has a place in nearly every cuisine. It's a favorite not just for families planning weeknight meals, but also for athletes tracking their macros and health-conscious eaters looking for a balanced diet. With its high protein, low fat, especially in lean cuts, like chicken breast, and valuable nutrients, like B vitamins and selenium, chicken is often seen as the perfect choice for wellness. That's why meal prepping with chicken has become such a popular habit. Cook a big batch on Sunday, store it in the fridge, and reheat portions throughout the week. It feels efficient, budget-friendly, and aligned with healthy eating. But here's the twist: what looks like a practical routine can actually carry hidden risks. Reheating chicken, particularly in the microwave or at very high oven temperatures, can cause chemical changes in the meat that increase inflammation, make digestion harder, and over time contribute to health issues you might never suspect were linked to your meals. To understand why, we need to look at what happens on a microscopic level when chicken is first cooked and then reheated. During that first cooking process, the heat denatures the proteins, breaking their complex structures into simpler ones that your body can digest more easily. But reheating can take this a step further, sometimes in ways that aren't good for you. When chicken is first cooked, something remarkable happens. Heat breaks down the complex protein structures, making the meat tender, flavorful, and easier for your body to absorb. That's why freshly cooked chicken is not only delicious, but also highly bioavailable. Your body can access its amino acids, vitamins, and minerals efficiently. But when you reheat that same chicken, especially in a microwave, which tends to heat unevenly, or in an oven cranked up too high, the proteins are forced through a second round of structural changes. This isn't a good thing. Those proteins tighten up, becoming tougher, more rigid, and far less digestible. For younger people with strong digestion, the difference might not be obvious. At worst, it could cause mild bloating or a heavy feeling that's easy to ignore. But as we age, our digestive systems naturally weaken. We produce fewer enzymes, stomach acid levels decline, and our bodies lose some of the efficiency they once had. Suddenly, foods that used to feel light and energizing can leave you bloated, gassy, or sluggish. In many cases, reheated chicken is the silent culprit, sneaking digestive stress into your day without you ever realizing it. You might eat a reheated chicken breast for lunch, feel a little off, and blame it on stress, fatigue, or something unrelated, never suspecting the reheating process itself. But the risks don't stop at digestion. Scientific studies reveal that reheating animal proteins like chicken can trigger the creation of harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds form when proteins and fats are repeatedly exposed to high heat, particularly in the presence of sugars or oxidative stress. AGs are no small matter. They've been linked to chronic low-grade inflammation, the type of inflammation scientists now recognize as a root cause of many age-related diseases. Elevated age levels have been connected to heart disease, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, and even premature aging of cells. For example, a 2019 study published in Nutrients found that diets high in AGEs were strongly correlated with higher markers of inflammation, including reactive protein, which is directly associated with cardiovascular risk. Reheating chicken, especially in the microwave or at very high oven temperatures, accelerates this process and boosts age formation. Picture this: on Sunday, you prepare a tray of roasted chicken breasts, seasoned with garlic, rosemary, and a drizzle of olive oil. You store them in the fridge for meal prep. On Tuesday, you pop one into the microwave for a quick lunch. It comes out a bit rubbery, slightly dry, maybe with a faint off taste compared to when it was fresh. That small change in flavor and texture isn't just disappointing for your taste buds, it's a clue that deeper molecular damage has occurred. The proteins in that reheated chicken have become less bioavailable, meaning your body has to work harder to digest them. Meanwhile, AGEs and other oxidative byproducts have formed, quietly taxing your antioxidant defenses. Over weeks, months, and years of repeating this cycle, the burden adds up, fueling inflammation and straining both your digestive and cardiovascular systems. Over time, repeatedly eating reheated chicken can create a subtle but steady state of chronic inflammation. This hidden stress chips away at your resilience and vitality, often without obvious warning signs. For older adults, the concern is even greater. Aging bodies already struggle with slower digestion, weaker immune systems, and common conditions like arthritis, high blood pressure, or mental fog. Adding reheated chicken into the mix only compounds the challenge. The results might show up as achy joints, lingering fatigue, difficulty focusing, or even less stable blood pressure. What seems like a small, harmless habit, reheating leftovers, can quietly undermine your energy, clarity, and overall well-being when repeated week after week. So how can you keep enjoying the benefits of chicken while avoiding these risks? The answer lies in mindful cooking and reheating methods. If you must reheat, skip the microwave and go for gentle techniques. Warm your chicken slowly on the stovetop with a splash of broth to lock in moisture, or place it in the oven at a low temperature around 250 degrees, 120 degrees. These methods help reduce the formation of harmful compounds like AGEs and keep the proteins easier to digest. An even better option: embrace cold dishes. Leftover chicken can be just as satisfying in a fresh salad with leafy greens, avocado, and a squeeze of lemon, or tucked into a wrap with hummus and crunchy vegetables. These meals are refreshing, convenient, and far kinder to your body. Another smart strategy is to simply cook smaller portions at a time. Instead of roasting a week's worth of chicken all at once, prepare only what you'll eat fresh for that meal. Grilling a single breast for dinner ensures you're always enjoying chicken at its nutritional peak without worrying about reheating at all. The bigger picture here is simple: how you handle your food matters just as much as the food you choose. Chicken is still one of the best lean proteins available, but its benefits depend on whether you treat it with care after it's cooked. With small intentional adjustments, gentle reheating, cold preparations, or smaller batch cooking, you can keep chicken as a true ally in your diet. For older adults especially, these mindful habits can be powerful tools for maintaining energy, mental sharpness, and long-term vitality. And if you're still with me, type A3 in the comments to let me know you're here learning alongside me. Thank you for your valuable time and attention. Now let's move on. Number 5, mushrooms. The earthy superfood that loses its balance when reheated. Mushrooms are one of nature's most fascinating foods. Celebrated for their deep, earthy flavor and satisfying, meaty texture, they've been prized in cuisines worldwide for centuries. But beyond taste, mushrooms are also nutritional powerhouses. They're low in calories, yet rich in fiber, antioxidants, and essential nutrients like selenium, B vitamins, and even unique plant compounds that support immune health and fight inflammation. From the delicate sweetness of oyster mushrooms to the bold, hearty bite of portobello, mushrooms are among the most versatile ingredients you can find. They show up in stir-fries, soups, omelets, risottos, and even as a satisfying plant-based substitute for meat. Beyond their culinary appeal, mushrooms deliver an impressive list of health perks. They're rich in antioxidants like ergothioneine, packed with fiber and loaded with B vitamins such as riboflavin and niacin. On top of that, mushrooms contain beta-glucans, powerful compounds known to boost the immune system. Research, including a 2021 study published in Food Chemistry, has highlighted their ability to strengthen immunity, support cardiovascular health, and even reduce the risk of certain cancers, thanks to their anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. No wonder mushrooms are a go-to choice for anyone looking to add depth to meals while keeping nutrition front and center. But here's the part that doesn't get talked about as much: mushrooms don't handle reheating well. While many vegetables can be reheated without much consequence, mushrooms are uniquely sensitive because of their composition. They're made up of a delicate balance of proteins, enzymes, and fragile fats that give them their signature flavor and texture. When you cook mushrooms fresh, sautéed with garlic, roasted with herbs, or simmered in a comforting broth, these components break down in a controlled, beneficial way. Nutrients are released, and the mushrooms become easier to digest. But once you reheat them, especially at high temperatures or multiple times, the story changes. The proteins and enzymes degrade further, making them harder for your body to absorb. This can leave you feeling bloated, sluggish, or uncomfortable after eating. For older adults, the impact is often greater. With age, our bodies naturally produce fewer digestive enzymes, making it harder to process foods efficiently. Reheated mushrooms can shift from being a nutrient-dense ally to a subtle digestive burden. And it's not just digestion that's at risk. Mushrooms are highly perishable, and their high moisture content makes them tricky to store. When kept in plastic containers, for example, excess humidity can build up, accelerating oxidation. That's the process where fats in mushrooms react with oxygen, creating compounds that, once reheated, can increase oxidative stress in the body. Oxidative stress is more than just a buzzword. It's a key driver of cellular aging and has been linked to chronic inflammation, cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and weakened immunity. A 2020 review in Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity emphasized how oxidized food compounds can overwhelm the body's natural antioxidant defenses, putting extra wear and tear on cells. Reheating mushrooms, particularly in the microwave where uneven heat can overcook some areas while leaving others underdone, only amplifies this effect. The result: beneficial fats and proteins are transformed into harmful compounds that quietly challenge your body instead of nourishing it. Imagine this: you whip up a creamy mushroom risotto for dinner, loaded with cremini shiitake and oyster mushrooms sautéed with butter and thyme. The meal is rich, flavorful, and packed with nutrients. But the next day, when you reheat a portion in the microwave for lunch, the magic is gone. The mushrooms look rubbery, watery, maybe even a little slimy. The flavor feels flat compared to the night before. Those disappointing changes are more than cosmetic. They're signs of deeper chemical shifts. The proteins have toughened, the fats have oxidized, and the once vibrant nutrients are now harder for your body to use. For older adults who may already struggle with digestion, lowered immunity, or mental fatigue, these subtle changes can amplify existing issues, showing up as bloating, tiredness, or foggy thinking. Over time, what seems like an innocent habit, microwaving leftovers, adds to your body's inflammatory and oxidative stress load. Slowly, quietly, it chips away at your health. The good news: a few smart habits can keep mushrooms nourishing instead of burdensome. Store them right. Skip plastic containers which trap humidity. Instead, use airtight glass containers and refrigerate promptly to slow spoilage and oxidation. Gentle reheating only. If you need to reheat, do it low and slow on the stovetop with a splash of broth or olive oil. This helps preserve texture and nutrition. Or skip reheating altogether. Mushrooms can be delicious cold. Try tossing chilled, sautéed mushrooms into a salad with arugula walnuts and balsamic vinaigrette, or blend them into a chilled yogurt and herb soup for a refreshing, nutrient-packed dish. Cook smaller batches. Make just what you'll eat in one sitting to enjoy mushrooms at their peak without worrying about leftovers at all. The big lesson here is that small daily choices add up. Mushrooms are an incredible addition to your diet, but their benefits depend on how you handle them after cooking. By storing them properly, reheating gently, or enjoying them cold, you can keep mushrooms as a true ally, supporting energy, reducing inflammation, and promoting long-term wellness. For older adults, these mindful adjustments can help preserve clarity, vitality, and resilience as the years go by. As we wrap up this video, thank you for being here and taking the time to learn about the surprising risks of reheating certain foods. Take a moment to reflect what stood out most to you today. Was it the hidden dangers of reheating spinach? The bacterial risks in potatoes? The harmful compounds in eggs, the inflammation triggered by chicken, or the way mushrooms lose their balance after reheating? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us one thing you learned and how you plan to put it into practice in your own life. Your feedback inspires us and helps us keep creating valuable content. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss future tips for protecting your health and living your best life. Thanks again for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.